Hi guys, how are you? If you came to this channel, you want to know the 10 things they do not teach you before you start your job as a medical administrative assistant. Before I jump into the video, I just want to give you guys a little bit of intro of who I am and what this channel is going to be. So my name is Pia. I've been a medical administrative assistant for the last 18 years, and I'm now taking the initiative to start my own agency. Like, I want to help other people become successful. I want them to be able to have more than one stream of income. But I'm going to start with myself, and I'm also going to document everything on here. So if you guys are on the same path, you can join me. So I just want to give you guys a little bit more background about me. I've worked in multiple hospitals, I worked for multiple clinics, and these are the top things that they have never taught me before I landed these jobs. And as you get further and further along in your career, it's almost going to be like a repeated cycle. But by then, you would already master these skills. Now, what I'm going to tell you guys is nothing that is surprising, but we don't think about these things when we apply for the job. The first thing you have to know if you're a medical administrative assistant is multitasking. Now, that could be pretty challenging for some people, and everybody has a different way of approaching how to multitask certain projects. You might come in a day, you might have to answer the phones, you might be working on prior authorization, you might be working on a letter, you might also be doing some reimbursements for your provider. I just gave you guys four things. This is what I do on a daily basis sometimes. Four different tasks. You have to figure out what is the most important task and what is the less important task. So the number one thing they don't teach you is how to multitask. The second thing is every call matters. And I know when you first start that job, you're going to get your first 3 to 4 or 5 calls. You are going to be so excited, so happy that you helped that patient. But trust and believe me, when you've been there for 6 or 8 years, you're going to get some calls that you think aren't important, but they are. It could be as simple as, what floor do I go? They're asking you crucial information, if especially what department you work in, right? So I've worked in orthopedics, I've worked in internal medicine, endocrinology. Now I currently work in pulmonology. So different departments where you work, you're going to get those calls like, what floor? Where do I park? You might not think that call is important, but every call is important. They might ask you, when is their appointment date? And sometimes you'll give them the appointment date and they'll call you back again just to reaffirm. I want you to know, no matter how much time you spend on the phone, every single patient call matters. Okay? Every call matters. No matter how little or mundane the task is, it matters. The third thing that will tell you guys is organization. Organization, let me tell you. Now, we all like going shopping, right? When you walk into a store, everything's organized by color, by sections, by season. Your desk needs to be organized. You're going to have different files of, like, now everything now is on a system called EHR, which is an Epic system. But guys, you're still going to get letters, reimbursements. You're going to get authorization, pharmacies. You're going to get patients that need medical clearance. You're going to have so many documents that are coming from the fax. You're going to have to learn how to organize them. Are you a person that likes to walk in the morning and have chaos over your desk? Like, there's all this notebooks and pads, and, like, maybe your lunch from yesterday, a cup of coffee, turned over. You walk in there, it already smells funky, right? But you walk in there, your desk is a hot mess. You can't work like that. Imagine going into a store where there is no aisles, nothing's organized. You can't find anything. Well, that's the same way at your desk. You want to come in. I'm not saying for you to be perfect. I'm not saying for your desk to be immaculate. Just organize it a way that when you are working on multiple tasks, you're able to have a system that flows and works for you. That's the third thing. The fourth thing they don't teach you guys is patience. Yes, patience. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of patient calls depending on which departments you work. Now, This is kind of going back to every call, but I'm talking about patience, okay? You're going to get all sorts of different personalities. You're going to get some happy patients, some grumpy patients, some patients who are very upset. They just got the worst news of their life. So they're probably not going to be in their best illed manner. It is our job as an admin to have that smile on the phone. Patients could hear it in your tone, in your voice, the way you talk to them. If you're rushing them off the phone call, they know that you're upset with them. They might not tell you, but they feel a little frustration in your tone. So when you're, and I know, guys, you're not always going to be in your best mood. You might be having a personal problem. Maybe you got the worst news of your life. There's a lot of things that could be going on. But what I try to say is whatever you have, keep it at home. And if you need to take like a mental health day, guys, take that day. Okay. Number 5 is a problem solver. Yes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was never good or suave with putting dusters together. I can't even put a curtain together, okay? Like the curtain rods. No. But you are a problem solver. You're going to have to solve an issue for a patient. It could be maybe they call 3 or 4 times for a medication and it's not going to the pharmacy. Maybe the clearance letter that they wanted you to fax, you fax it, but the other company is not getting it. You're going to have to find other ways you could help that patient. And sometimes it could even be that the patient needs a disability form. Disability forms are a big one in healthcare. A lot of times patients will have a disability when they might need a spouse or child, an adult child to bring them. Now, sometimes that form is going to be have to fill up by your doctor, but there are a lot of questions that they're asking. And sometimes some of those companies that certain patients work for, they're not really the best help. So you have to find a way to solve the issue, find a way that you could help the patient and also help your provider, and then find like a medium where you could actually set the information, the patient get their disability ready. Okay. Number 6, guys, I just mentioned it, problem solving. The smallest details make a huge impact. Okay. So if you're someone who gets the job, maybe the first 3 months, you're doing like 100%. You're sending messages to the correct providers. You're sending messages, need to go to nurses. When you take a phone call, now I know you're not clinically licensed, but you are a medical administrative assistant. You still have a little ounce of responsibility. So when you take a phone call, it doesn't matter how little that call detail might be. Everything that the patient tells you, make sure you document it, right? You put it in, because if a patient calls you, let's say if a patient, let's say you work in cardiology, okay? And the patient's telling you for the last 5, 6 days that they've been having flutters, like heart flutters. And every time they walk up the stairs, they're out of breath. Now, if you just took that message, patient called out of breath, you felt like telling them they're going up the stairs and matter, it matters. Because when you take that call, understand this, the nurses are extremely busy. So if they see, oh, patient has heart flutters, okay. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not going to give any type of medical advice, but I'm just going to say they're going to be like, well, this call probably could wait till tomorrow. You forgot to mention that they're going up the stairs and they're losing breath. That is crucial information that you should have put in that note to tell the nurse. Because maybe that person probably can't wait till tomorrow. They probably have to go to the emergency room. If they're walking up the stairs and they're losing breath, they shouldn't be at home. There's some type of blockage that has happened. Now, I don't know the medical terms. And if you are a nurse and you're someone who knows it, go ahead, share it. I don't know it, but I know if they're having a hard time walking up the stairs, there's definitely a blockage going on. And a nurse will determine if that call needs to wait or if they need to come in. But this is what I'm telling you, little details do matter, guys. So the smallest details matter. Number 7 is you're always going to learn something new. That's the good thing about healthcare, especially now. AI is taking over healthcare. Don't get afraid if you are planning on becoming a virtual assistant or if you're becoming an administrative assistant in person, you are still going to have a job. Understand this. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there with AI taking people's jobs. You still, like, if you know how to use AI, and I think they have Claude, guys, that is a powerful tool. But you have to know how to give out the commands. For example, I'm not a project manager, okay? I have some family members that are project manager. They deal with a lot of like spreadsheets, and they deal with all sorts of customer service, all sorts of finance things. You have to know certain prompts to tell Claude or AI to come up with the task for you. Now, if you're someone like me who's only worked in medical care and I have no idea project management, I have no manager skills, I have no finance skills, I can't have AI help me because I don't know the commands. I don't know what to say. As an admin, I know what to say. If I'm going to draft an email, I want to sound friendly. I want to sound a little detailed. I know the commands. If my doctor is like every year, I do an IP course for her, which is like a medical conference. So one thing we have to keep track of is finance, is how much money we're spending on lunches, on dinners. I would go to AI and say, please draft a spreadsheet for me. And I want for lunches, money spent, what's left over. And then sometimes I would also create a guest list. Who is going to attend? Who RSV? Who did RSV? You have to know the commands. If you know the commands or what to say, guys, you just took 20 minutes for you to probably type up 2 sentences. It was done in 1 second. That's that's a no-brainer, right? So you learn something new. What I would say to you guys, please take advantage of the free AI courses that are offered online. Now I'm gonna give you guys, this is information you can find online. If you live in Massachusetts, please go ahead and make sure you go to massweb.com. There is a free AI course for people who are administration. Now, you would have to check your state if you're looking at this. I don't know, but this is for people who live in New England, okay? Here's another thing. Teamwork. Teamwork makes a huge difference, okay? Having now, when you, so I work in a very nice office. We are all respectful of each other. We work very well with each other. Now, I work in departments where it wasn't so nice. I worked in small departments. I worked in huge departments. I worked with over 200 member like staff when I used to work at the front desk and call center. I've worked in a small doctor's office where there was only 2 admins and then 4 doctors. I worked, it really depends. But let me tell you something. Your team members are your partner. You're going to need to go on vacation one day. You're going to call in sick. You're going to need time off. You're going to have to go to that person and ask them, could they cover for you? Having a good rapport with your coworkers, your teamwork, does make your job easier. You might get stuck on a task that you don't understand. Maybe the doctor had explained it to you, even but you still don't get it. So you have to go to your coworker, and if you have a good relationship with your coworker, they're going to help you. So remember, teamwork. Listen, there's never I in team, right? It's we, right? You have 5 digits in your hands. All 5 need to work together. That's just like team. You can't work with just 4. You need all 5 digits to for you to pick up a mouse, okay, or pick up a pen, okay. Now you could do it with 4 hands, but it's going to be challenging, okay. But 5 easier. All right, that's just an example, okay. Number 9. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not always like sunshines. I know, and I do have to say, not everyone does this, but I do think social media glamorize healthcare a lot. Like they glamorize the doctors, the nurses. You don't really see a lot of admins. Like you'll see a few videos, but that's usually like a low entry position. But there are a few videos. I love being an admin. I think this is a field that you could actually grow and make a lucrative income, especially if you want to be a virtual assistant, which is what I'm doing now, right? I'm trying to be a virtual assistant. I'm sharing my journey. I'm also giving you guys tips and stuff how to be an administration assistant. Because if you want to be a virtual assistant, you have to know the foundation of medical admin, right? Because companies, before they hire you, they're going to ask you certain questions and stuff like that. And they're going to know if you have the skill set that they need. Okay, so what I notice is they do glamorize it a lot. They don't show people the reality. One, this is going to be an extra one. Mental health is a big one. I know. A lot of times we work in healthcare, we take on a lot of some people take physical, some people take mental, and it could be from the patient. Sometimes it could be from coworkers, it could be from staff. That's a lot, okay? So, one thing I want you guys to do, please take care of your mental health. You can't go in this field and not be 100% in control of your actions, your feelings. The reason why I say that, because you're probably going to come across a person, it could be a patient, it could be a coworker, it could be a provider that is going to maybe push you a little. You have to learn how to not take it professional. You got to learn how to take criticism with a grain of salt. If a patient lash out on you, don't take it personal, because on the phone, this person doesn't know who you are. They never met you. They're frustrated, they're upset, they're scared of the situation. Now, I'm not saying for you to tolerate. There's a difference between altercation and, someone that blatantly wants to harm people. Please, if that's the case, follow your hospital, your clinic protocols. Every office has protocols that they do so people, for safety for workers and also for patients. So make sure you do follow those. But I'm just saying, your mental health, work out, go to the gym. Listen, take that day off, okay? Stop saving that vacation time. Take it off. Your job will still be there. No matter how good of an admin you are, no how much praise they give to you. If you were to drop dead today, that job posting would be up in seconds. Okay, they would just say, "Oh, she was a good worker. Got everything done," and then they move on. Please take vacation. Okay, if you wake up, you don't feel like going in, you don't have to go in. That's simple. They know you're going to call out. They know you're allowed a sick day. They know you're allowed a personal day. So if you don't feel good, do not go in. Sometimes it could be a sign from above. I'm a woman of faith, and I always believe God works in mysterious ways. It could be a sign. It could be preventing you for something to happen to you. It could have been a car accident. Maybe something bad could happen. You never know what would happen that day. So that's why if you don't feel good, don't go in. Number 10, I get this a lot, especially from some people I work with, and I do feel bad. When people say this, it really does something to me. Like today, for example, I work with this wonderful guy. He works at the front desk. I'm not going to give his name. I'm not going to say what department he works in, but he is truly a genuine person. He has a heart of gold. He does a lot for where he works, but I don't like the way he precedes himself. He told me today that he is nothing. I said, "What do you mean you're nothing?" I said, "You have a name, you have a purpose in life, you are somebody, you are something." And I think the reason why he said that, because his position is a low entry position. So he works at the front desk. I work at an admin job. We both have low entry jobs. But let me tell you something, guys. I don't care if you're picking up trash. It's the way you carry yourself. Okay. If you have the mentality that you are nothing and your job is nothing, guess what? That's how you're going to get treated back. If you glorify your job, you take pride in your work, you're happy to go to work, people are going to respect you. They're going to say, wow, this person really takes pride in her job. I may not get paid a lot of money. It's minimum wage. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And it's tough. There are days I go home. I said, how am I going to pay my bills? But I don't get discouraged. I find other ways to make income. This is why I want to create this channel. I working on multiple streams of income so I could be a lucrative person for myself. I have this channel that I'm working on. I have 2 other side businesses. I sell things. I also sell dolls. So I do look familiar, okay? But I want to tell you guys before I end this video, please do not just take an admin job and think it's over. I want you to take that job and find other ways for you to make lucrative income. I'm not selling you a course. All I'm asking you is just to subscribe, and you get free information. You don't have to pay anything. You get free inside information. And I do have other videos coming up where to land your first job, how to interview. I have so many videos coming for this channel. If you like this video, I want you to do three things for me. I want you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and give me a comment. Let me know how I did on my first video. Bye-bye.